Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a good one here for you. We have an article about karate combat and listen to the title. Why karate combat is risking it all on crypto. And as we know, when we talk about crypto, they're on Hedera. Now don't get me wrong, they are on Ethereum as well, but I showed you guys before like an image, and it was showing you basically the usage through Ethereum compared to the usage through Hedera, and it was massively trumped by the usage on Hedera as compared to Ethereum. There was way more usage going on Hedera. So it makes sense because we've spoke about this at length, guys. We know about Ethereum. It's costly, it can't really scale. There can be a lot of problems in terms of, transactions getting cancelled, that kind of stuff. So we know all the general gist of that. But yeah, we know that this is all really why Hedera is just the better option. Let's just be real, it is. And I think this is real interesting here, guys, because we can get into their thought process. You can get just a bit of a breakdown about karate combat, learn a bit more about its origins, how it started, that kind of thing. So thought I'd get into this because again, it will just show you like what they think and how this could benefit Hedera overall in the long term. So let's get into it. Fight League Karate Combat is built around the karate token, letting fans bet on real matches with a quote no loss unquote format. Here's how it works. Karate Combat has professional fighters, former UFC champions and crypto influencers facing off in fast-paced fights with minimal rules, while over 40,000 users bet on who will win. The league has been running fights since 2018, but over the past year has slowly garnered more and more attention, all culminating with its most recent fight, where alleged influencer Ben quote BitBoy unquote Armstrong faced off against More Light, the founder of meme coin Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 ENU. Through the use of no loss gambling, or what they call quote up only gaming unquote, the karate combat founders think they found a way to circumvent the massive upfront costs that usually come with starting a sports league. The founders ultimately believe that their demographic isn't as interested in sports unless they're betting on them. Through integrating crypto, they found a way to build a loyal and engaged fan base at a fraction of the cost seen in typical sports leagues by applying similar mechanics to those of a DeFi yield farm. Where many startups face a cold start problem or the dilemma of getting your first customers and becoming profitable, DeFi farms have always circumvented this through the use of incentives. Up-only gaming essentially takes the mechanics of a yield farm and applies them to a traditional business. Karate Combat was initially a standard fighting league without any crypto integrations. Founders Robert Bryan and a pseudonymous Only LARPing acquired the league in 2018 with the goal of creating a sport for the next generation. They started with a rule set similar to UFC, but without any grappling involved. This means that anytime the fighters fall to the floor and begin to wrestle, a referee steps in to bring the fighters back up to their feet. This leads to faster paced fights with a lot more knockouts than usual. Karate Combat's battles are hosted at a variety of exotic locations, from old prisons to the home of the company president's mom. Only LARPing told Decrypt that they try their hardest to make every match look like a real-life version of Mortal Kombat. Every event is streamed for free on the Karate Combat website, and the founders are committed to never charging a fee. The league makes money through sponsorships and host city fees, where local governments pay to bring events to their region. They decided to integrate crypto after coming up with the idea for up-only gaming. Only LARPing had been in the cryptocurrency ecosystem since 2014, and after developing the no-loss gambling concept, felt that the only way to make it a reality was through cryptocurrency. Quote, "When we came up with up-only gaming, we were convinced it would work really well for crypto and our sports fans," unquote, he told Decrypt. Quote, "We risked the whole league on it," unquote. Each match has a fixed prize pool in Karate tokens set by the Karate Combat team. Through the Karate Combat app, users can place bets on who they think they will win. If they're right, then they gain Karate tokens from the prize pool. If they're wrong, well, nothing happens. Because of this, it isn't technically gambling and can get around regulations. The reasons the founders believe this would only work in crypto is because you need a native asset to give people when they win. In crypto, you can slowly dilute people that don't play, so that over time the league will be controlled by the most engaged players and fighters. Karate Combat has also been converted into a legitimate DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organization, a community of decision makers effectively. Token holders vote on the rules of the matches, and such proposals have more engagement than most DAOs today. While Karate Combat has seen more exposure lately as the crypto markets recover and more prominent combatants enter the ring, only LARPing told Decrypt that it's been a slow grind, and that there weren't any points where he felt like they, quote, got lucky, unquote, or hit it big. He credits the upswing to years of work put behind a clear vision. Quote, of course, the market helps too, unquote, he admitted. Okay guys, real great article there and gives you a real big, clear vision of what Karate Combat is. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know the full extent of how the gambling thing works, like how they've made it so it's up only gambling or up only gaming to where you don't actually lose any money. That's great, because why would people not want to participate in this then, right? Like, as more people get involved in the sport and think, oh, well, if I'm not going to lose any money if I get it wrong, then why wouldn't I just get involved, right? Like, it's only a positive. So I think that's a real good thing. And the fact that they said, you know, because of that, they can kind of get around normal gambling regulations, that's only going to be a positive for them. So I thought that was a real smart move here in that. And, you know, the fact that you can hear, like, they had a real vision in place for this, like in terms of how they said, you know, they want it to look like Mortal Kombat, different locations, that kind of thing. You can tell they've really thought about how they wanted this to even come across. And I've noticed that, like, whenever I do look at where they're doing, you know, their fights, wherever they're putting up an event, it looks so exotic or so just like real dramatic. Like, as I say, like the prison as they talked about, and then, you know, like an exotic location, like real crazy places where they're doing it. But it's good because it makes it look more scenic, right? Like, it just adds to the aesthetic of it all. So I think this is really great. And yeah, like, as I've said before, like, you can tell that they've said there's previous UFC fighters and stuff who've come into this. It makes sense because I can see this being the crypto UFC. I've said this numerous times, and, you know, I definitely appreciate what he said about this isn't like something where they've got lucky, because me, just as a content creator, I completely understand that, you know, people think that you just make content and you get lucky, and it's like, no, this is work. Like, it's not something that, you know, even though I enjoy it, like, it's not easy, you know, like, it takes a grind. So I can relate to that 100%. And I understand that a lot of work comes into these kinds of things. Like, people see it and they see it when it's all successful and they think it's like an overnight success and that kind of thing. But a lot of work generally gets up to creating that overnight success, right? Like, I've heard someone say this before. They said a quote and it was something like, it took me like 10 years to become an overnight success. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you do all the work and then suddenly you just blow up. But it's not like you just didn't do no work and you just happened to get lucky. No, like, you had to put a lot of grafting to get it to that point. And then suddenly, you know, thunder strikes and you get your moment and it really just takes off. So I completely understand that in terms of, you know, making the graft and putting the work in. But yeah, guys, I think this sounds all great to me. And I really do think these could be a real big value driver for HBAR, because they are really growing exponentially. And as they've been saying, like, they're getting a lot more attention. So, you know, they're being recognized on a very big scale. And just one other thing I will just point out, I really respect the fact that they've said they intend to keep the events for free. They don't intend to charge. I'm surprised about that, because I'll be honest with you, I thought the general plan would be, you know, we'll keep it free for now until we build up our fan base enough, and then once we get it to a big enough point where we're willing to start charging people, we'll charge people at that point. So the fact that they're saying they intend to keep it free, like, that's, again, like, that's really good, because you can tell that they care about their audience. Now, I'll be honest with you, if they changed their mind and decided to help the business grow better, they needed to charge people. I would say fair enough, because that's the way it goes with businesses. At times, it could be a thing where if they really need funding, they need a new source of income because maybe they're spending a lot in terms of, keep building these events up and things like that, having to promote a market, that kind of stuff. It can get expensive, guys. So if they change their mind, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't blame them. But the fact that they're saying their intent is to try and keep it free, I really respect that. I mean, to me, it just shows that they do care about the audience who are watching, and they are trying to make it, as great as an experience for them and as painless, right? So they're not having to pay for it. And then just adding the fact that they're not letting people lose in terms of, making bets, so they can gamble without losing any money. Like, they're really trying to make this as, as great an experience for the average person as possible. So to me, I think this could all be huge factors that play a huge part into Karate Combat growing massively in the future. So this was a great article, and it does just give you a bit of an idea of the thought process behind it and where it's looking to go in the future. So great article here, and I think this could be a massive deal for HBAR long term. But what do you guys think? Karate Combat betting it all on crypto. Do you like the sound of this article? Are you someone who is actually betted on Karate Combat in the past? Do you think that this will be good for HBAR's price? Or do you not like the sound of this? Is there anything that you've heard in this article that actually gives you any cause for concern? Or do you just not think that this will be any good for HBAR's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.